Shalom. And I want to start off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachachodesh. The honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you, Akim, that's out there listening, pushing forth this word with truth and sincerity, and your few Aquath as well. Let's listen with sincerity. All right, today, just coming back at you guys through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And if the Lord wants you to preach this word, you will preach it, okay? The Lord will persuade you via his fear to do this work, man. Regardless of what you have in mind, regardless of your, you think what your purpose is, right? If the Lord wants you to be his servant, you will be his servant, okay? The reason why I'm saying this is because look at what happened to Jonah, right? Jonah was persuaded by the fear of the Lord to go and preach the word, because he didn't want to go and preach to Nineveh. But what happened? The fish swallowed him up. Okay, the fish swallowed him up to where that, hey, he got persuaded. Okay, when the fish spat him out to the shore, it was like, okay, yep, I gotta go to Nineveh and prophesy. If I don't do it, hey, the Lord is gonna jack me up. Right? Which, when we came into this truth, we understand that, hey, Yahweh Shai Shai called us, we have to preach the word. Oh, let's get this in Amos. This is the book of Amos 3, and verse 8. It says, the lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord Yahweh Bahashim Shai hath spoken, who can but prophesy? That's it. Okay? The Lord represents that lion. He warred. Okay? He gave you a calling. He called you to come and do this work. Right? Are you not gonna fear? He's spoken and said you have to do such and such. Are you not gonna prophesy? This is the King of the universe that we're talking about. All right? If you're ready to obey your plantation master, if he tells you to do this task, you obey. How much more with the Heavenly Father? How much more with Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai? Okay? He warred. He has spoken. So you have to prophesy. You have to drop whatever that you're doing, whatever you think that your purpose is, right? And come and serve the Lord. Okay? You have to put the truth first. You have to put the Heavenly Father first when you get your calling. Okay? If not, then, hey, the Lord's going to show you some terrible things to where that, hey, trust me, you're going to get persuaded. You will get persuaded. Right? With scripture say, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. Right? The lessons that we make, the admonishing lessons, the prophecies that we bring out, it's because we know the terror of the Lord. That's why we're bringing out these lessons. Okay? We understand that the Lord warred. He has spoken, so hey, we have to prophesy. We know that the terror of the Lord. You see? And once again, Jonah was an example of a man that was not willing to do the work of the Lord. Then hey, he got persuaded. Right? Because his lot was what? To be a prophet, regardless of what he had in mind. Okay? So if our lot is to be prophets, to be teachers, you can't escape it. You cannot. If the Lord wants you to do this work, you will do it. Trust me. He's going to show you some things. Okay? Let's get the Jonah. All right. Hold on. I think it's chapter 2. He got swallowed in the fish. Well, I'm gonna start at verse 1. Really, the whole chapter goes into how he got swallowed in the fish, and then after towards the end of the chapter, he got the Lord basically told the fish to spit him back out, because now he understood, he got it, right? This is Jonah 2 and verse 1. It says, then Jonah prayed unto the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai out of the fish's belly, Okay, in the first chapter, that's when the fish swallowed him up. Okay, because he tried to escape, and then he was in the boat with some other men, and then storm started happening, right? And then Jonah understood that the storm started happening because of him, because he was trying to escape his lot. Okay, and then as you go on, the men of the ship, they cast Jonah into the sea, because even them, okay, he's responsible, right? Which the Lord was behind all that. Okay, and then when they sent him in the sea, a fish came and swallowed him up. Okay, which the whole story of Jonah is beautiful. Okay, so if you didn't read that, you best read it. So this is Jonah 2 and verse 1. It says, Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, his power out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell I cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Yeah, Jonah, hey, he wasn't that fish's belly, man. Yo, you gotta put that into perspective, right? Here it is. You're in the middle of the sea. You just got men just threw you off the ship. A fish swallowed you. It's all dark. Okay. The full of acid in his belly. Right. Probably you're bumping into bones. Okay. And there's no other voice in there except you. And there's probably some other living entity in there too. Some fish or some other fish that he just ate. So, yeah, trust me, man. Jonah was scared, bro. Trust me. He there's a reason why, chapter 2, this is the prayer that he said unto the Lord. He said he was in the belly of hell, man, meaning a hellish condition. Just like when you go in Psalms, when King David goes about, hell can pass him about, while pertaining to a condition, a lower state to where he was catching hell, catching affliction, which that's a saying in the world. I'm catching hell right now, Yeah, so Jonah was catching hell because he didn't want to do the will of the Lord. But what? When he got swallowed up, Salakia. Inside joke. Yeah, swallowed. But anywho, when the fish, ate him up, right? He got persuaded. He got persuaded, man. Okay? You see, he sent out a prayer. He said, he was catching hell. So, hey, you best use Jonah as an example, man. If you receive the calling and you choose to not take the call, the Lord is going to make sure he's heard. He's going to show you some action. He's going to show you some things. Okay? I'm not going to read the whole chapter. You could go read it, I just want to get the first 2 verses, really, because it describes how that, the Lord brought that fear upon him. Because even him, he understood. He said, hell, he's in the belly of hell right now, right? He's catching affliction, right? Oh, verse 3. I'm going to read verse 3 as well. It says, For thou hast cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. All thy billows and thy waves passed over me. Wow. Yo, imagine that. You're in the middle of the sea. You can't even see the shore. And then men just threw you out. Boom. Jonah probably thought he was going to die right then and there. Right? And he understood. Trust me. He understood. Because in the first chapter, he said it. He understood why there was a tempest, a storm happening while he was in the boat. He understood. He said it was me. It's me. The Lord is doing this because of me. That's why the men threw him out. Right? So if you don't take your calling, the Lord, once again, the Lord's going to show you some things, man. To where you will be persuaded. Okay? And then when you go into the 3rd chapter, that's when, the fish spat him out. And then he went and preached the word as per what the Lord commanded him. And you had other prophets that made excuses when the Lord called them. And then, like Moses, for instance, right? When the Lord called him out of that bush, when he told him to go and basically be a leader to lead the nation of Israel out of Egypt, right? He started making excuses. He started saying, I'm slow of speech, right? Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Because even Jake, too, they start making excuses. Let's get this. This is Exodus 4 and verse... I'm going to get to the point. In verse 10, it says, And Moses said unto the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, My Lord, I am not eloquent, neither hitherto, nor since thou hast spoken to thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. So Moses started making excuses. He was like, I can't be a leader. I could barely speak. Right? He's slow of speech. Okay, he's probably stumbling upon his words. Okay? What's the Lord's response? Verse 11, it says, And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made men's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Lord? So the Lord told him, why you fussing? Why you stressing, man? I made the blind. I made the deaf. I made the dumb. I made men speak. So you don't think I could make you speak? I'm going to put my words in your mouth. Just relax. Just do the work. Just go and preach. Okay? Which even scriptures tell you, not many, basically, how does that say I think it's in Corinthians where, how does it go again? Basically, in so many words, I'm just going to paraphrase the precept in my own words, how that not many people that's like well-spoken are called by the Lord. Okay? A lot of us brothers, our vocabulary is not really polished up like that. Right? We come from different backgrounds, which, you different slings, different sayings. Right? That's why in Isaiah speaks, we're going to speak to this people with stammering lips and another tongue. Because, Jake comes from different backgrounds to where they bring their own spirit in this, and, they bring their own slang, their own sayings. Right? Which even coming into the truth, you start going into the vocabulary regardless. You start, polishing up your speech in a sense, because you go into words, the meaning of it, and you apply it, you put that in your arsenal, and then you put it, whenever you have conversations, you use those words. Okay, but, you still put that flavor of that slang in it, right? Which there's even brothers who's not even well-spoken, regardless. Might speak slow, might stutter a little bit. That's basically what Moses had. He probably was stuttering, right? He couldn't pronounce certain words. So he was like, I can't speak to these people. He was making excuses. Right? But the Lord told him, I made your mouth. I made the deaf. I made the blind. You don't think I could make you speak unto these people? Verse 12, he says, Now therefore go, I will be with thy mouth and teach thee what thou shalt say. Yeah. Okay. And hey, trust me, the brothers that's not well spoken, hey, the Lord's with your mouth, man. Okay. Let's even get the example of Jeremiah as well. Right? This is Jeremiah 1 and verse 4. It says, Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Behold, I formed thee in the belly. It says, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Showing you as well, the prophets, they were pre-selected before they came on the planet Earth, okay, to be in their assigned lot, to where they have to preach the word, to where they have to teach, to where that whatever that your function is in the body, to where you have to fulfill that task, that role. It was already sanctioned in the heavens, okay. Furthermore, backing up the point to where that you cannot basically avoid what your lot is. Okay, you can't avoid the fact that the Lord has called you if he wants you to be in this, because your lot was already assigned in the heavens, regardless of what part you are in your life. Or I got this going on, right? You're not willing to sacrifice that. No, the Lord is going to take that away from you to where that, hey, I called you, man. I need you to do this. I need you to work for me. The scriptures say how that the harvest is plenteous, the laborers are few. The Lord needs laborers. If he wants you to be a laborer, you're going to be a laborer. Okay? Because it was already ordained in the heavens. Well, let's back that up with Isaiah. Isaiah 49 and verse 1, it says, Listen, O owls, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far. The Lord hath called me from the womb. From the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name. Right? The Lord called us from the womb. Backing up that Jeremiah 1 and 5. Already in the spirit world, your lot was appointed. Okay? Whether it was a 18-year-old, the Lord called you, whether it was at 30 years old, 40 years old, whatever time he has assigned for you to come and play your role, play your lot, you have to take that calling. And if you don't, hey, remember Jonah. Remember Jonah. If you don't, he's going to show you some things. He's going to take certain things away from you to where that, hey, you're going to understand. Okay? Because sometimes, Jake, they need to be shaken up a little bit and actually see the seriousness of what we're in, man. Right? They want to be they want to put the Lord in their own timing. No. Okay, if he called you at that time, that's the Lord's timing. You best listen. Okay? So back to Jeremiah. Let's get the point where Jeremiah make the excuse as well, the same excuse as Moses. Jeremiah 1 and 6, it says, Then said I, Lord, power Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. Okay, and Jeremiah, he came in this when he was a child. Most likely before the age of 12, because, you become a man at the age of 12. Okay, so 12 and under, you would be considered as a child. So Jeremiah was most likely under the age of 12. Okay, because he's saying it here. He's like, I can't speak. I'm a child. How can I go and speak to these elderly people that's you may say, older than me, right? But the Lord said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. Right? So, you can't make excuses to the Lord, man. The Lord's hand is not short to where he could make things happen where you fulfill your lot. Oh, Lord, I can't speak. I'm slow of speech. Right? I can't do this, Lord. I got a family to take care of. Right? Making excuses like that. No, the Lord doesn't want to hear excuses. He wants to hear obedience. He wants to hear, yes, sir. Right? Like when you're in the army, when your general gives you a commandment, right? You say, sir, yes, sir. Right? You don't say, sir, I don't know, sir. Right? Then you're going to get punished. Okay? Drop down and give me 20. That's unsubordination or whatever. Right? That 20 that the Lord is going to tell you, drop down to give him 20. Hey, you don't want to see that 20. You don't want the Lord to tell you, drop down and give him 20. Trust me. Okay? It goes on and says, verse 9, Then the Lord poured forth his hand to touch my mouth, and the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. You see? So we're just mere utensils, you may say, for the Lord to use. Okay? And if you're selected to be a utensil, hey, that's a great honor. That's a great honor. Okay? Because that means that, hey, you're most likely of the elect if you're enduring to the end. That's a great honor. That means the Lord has favor upon you. That means you're one of those that he has selected out of the rest of the nation. Of course, once again, if you're enduring to the end. Right? That's why Yahushua said, I don't call you servants, because a servant doesn't know what his Lord doeth, but I've called you friends. That means, the Lord is calling you a friend right there. If he's revealing himself unto you, he's supping with you, he's revealing the secrets, he's calling you. But you're denying that friendship you don't want to hear. Right? We're mere utensils in this. We're mere vessels for the Lord to use for the purpose of his work. Okay? Because you go in the book of Hebrews 1 and 1, the Lord always used prophets, men, to speak to the masses. Okay? And the same thing applies here today, where he's using his men to speak unto the masses. And he's going to call you and tell you that, You got to be a prophet right now. You gotta do my work, and you gotta take that calling. Okay. Regardless of what you're doing with your life currently, if the Lord calls you, man, you gotta take the calling. Okay. Let's get this as well in Amos. Shalak. Amos 7 and verse 14. Okay, this is about the prophet Amos. He basically goes into how that he was not even a prophet. He didn't come out the lineage of prophets, but yet he was called by the Lord because what that was his lot. And then, he fulfilled his lot. But let's read it. This is Amos 7 and verse 14. It says, Then answered Amos and said to Amaziah, and Amaziah was the priest back then. Okay. And Amos was prophesying against the king back then, which was the king of Israel, Jeroboam. Yep, Jeroboam, that he's gonna die and that the Lord's gonna bring judgment upon him. And then when the priest heard it, right, he was like, "Yo, don't prophesy here, man. We don't want to hear these bad things about the king." Right. So he told him, go to Judah instead. Go prophesy in Judah. Right. Let's go on. It says, Then Amos answered and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. Right? So he was telling him that, hey, I don't want to do this. Basically, that's what it's saying, in a sense, to where that, I didn't purpose it to where that I was gonna do this at this point in my life. Okay, the Lord called me, put His Spirit upon me to do this. I can't stop it. Okay, right? He's like, I was no. It says, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman, a gatherer of sycamore fruit. I was just a herdman. I was just a farmer. Right? And the Lord took me as I followed the flock, and the Lord said unto me, Go prophesy unto my people Israel. You see, so it's like, yo, I was a herdman. But what? The Lord called me and told me to go come prophesy here. So regardless of what you say to go over there, I'm not going to go. The Spirit told the Lord told me to come here. That's what I'm going to do. The Lord told me to prophesy against Jeroboam. I'm going to prophesy against Jeroboam. And there's nothing you could do about it. Now, therefore, hear thou the word of the Lord. Thou sayest, prophesy not against Israel, and drop not thy word against the house of Jacob. Right? And he started going in. He started, bringing out the prophecies. Right? So he wasn't listening to Amaziah the priest. He said, yo, the Lord called me to do this. I got to do it. Okay? I didn't even come out the lineage of prophets. I was just a herdman, but the Lord called me. Hey, I got to listen. The lion hath roared. Hey, who can but prophesy? Right? And that applies for all of us. Because, we had different walks before this. You had other things in mind to where you were chasing whatever, this career. You were trying to do this, that, the third, but what? The Lord called you, and then, hey, you came into this, right? So if the Lord calls you, man, you best pick up, man. All right, hey. So with that, man, I'm gonna close it off there by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachach Chodesh. Hey, Lord, willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I'm gonna say Shalom.